Wow, it's working. So I have some words about this webinar is AI search algorithm for e-commerce. Yes, Paulius,
Yes.
and trends and tools to boost conversions and sales. Some people need to let in. Okay, and actually left a very good impression to me at the Baltic e-commerce forum, and I also received good feedback from the audience, and that's why I invited you. And also because this AI search reshaping e-commerce right now, it's absolutely clear and like you promised to show us real examples plus practical steps, and I think that the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Tono, for inviting us. Very quick about search in e-commerce, that it's dramatically expanding. And to give a context that we all understand, I think search from Google age, what was happening, what technologies which was invented 15 years ago, auto suggest, autocorrect, autocomplete. Did you mean that? Or everyone maybe knows, like maybe some of them, you know, Elasticsearch or Solar Search, which is like very easily to, like, you can integrate to your e-commerce ecosystem. So all those things, they've been in the past, they exist at this moment. But everything what is happening from 2022, all those algorithms, open source databases, vector search, solves really significant problems which couldn't be solved earlier. And we just, you know, discussed about customer support, that, you know, like we can dramatically, you know, decrease volume of customer support. We can integrate, you know, even more rules about how to merchandise products. And search is, I would say, the biggest feedback window to your customers. So everyone is running e-commerce store, but to receive a feedback from the customer is pretty hard job. So you can, you know, send a newsletter that they could evaluate your store, or you can call and talk with them. But in general, people are leaving a lot of traces in a search field. And from analytical point of view, we can see what is happening with the customer, what they're looking for, what they can't find, what they are complaining for, so that you can actually create a lot of business decisions. So we have Ivaras on the stage. Ivaras is a technical person. We invited one of the architects of our software, who could explain more about AI in search, what is real, what is not real, what is hype, what is hot air, what is actually real value. Um, and I hope that it would give you, you know, benefits out of all what we put in on those slides. So our wish would be that it would be a discussion. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, to interrupt us. uh, Discussion is the best. I mean, if you just, you know, have something in your mind, raise your hand, and we are happy to discuss about your topic. So Ivaras, I think the stage is yours and you can start.
Okay, so nice to meet you. My name is Avaras. I'm a technical guy, as Paula said, search engineer in LopaSearch. And today I'm going to present you a bit of knowledge about the AI search algorithms. I guess in the past few years, you heard a lot of AI, generative AI, and all the other buzzwords. And we tested a lot of those during that time. And here we'll try to present what actually works, what we think are the quickest and easiest wins that you can implement in the next day, in the next 90 days, already in your store without any other outsourcing companies, if you would like so. And this is our main knowledge is based on these two numbers. So after we implement some kind of AI solution, we see from 3 to 21 increase in AI in search conversions. After it obviously depends on many other things. For example, if your store has not competitive prices, so even the best search cannot do anything, but it can be still can be a great tool to increase those conversions. And why it is important is because we see that based on the latest numbers from Veebinar research, around 56% stores still do not have a good performing search in the world. This number is getting better when compared to a few years ago. So search is getting better worldwide, but there is still a lot of work to do. I guess one of the most important things to understand about the search is, according to the same research from this institute, is that around 43% of visitors in the retail stores go straight to the search bar. So we know that e-commerce stores invest lots of in good catalog browsing. But if your search is performing poorly, there is a chance that you are losing quite a bit of possible revenue. Because these are the users that already know what you want. They already typing something in your search, and statistics show that they have 2 to 3 times better search conversion rate than regular users who are just browsing the catalog. So this is the reason why the search bar quality is pretty important. And obviously, this number is an average. It depends on industry. From what we see in groceries, pharmacy stores, much more people are using the search bar because they want to find something quickly. They buy multiple products, and this number might be a bit lower in fashion or in electronics, but still quite significant. So why those 56% exists and why the traditional e-commerce keyword-based search is pretty poor? So the first thing is that it uses keyword-only matching. So if your product is typed running shoes and your shoppers are looking for running shoes for flat feet, it is not going to match those because the exact matching does not work. So keyword does not understand or does not always understand the semantic meaning. Obviously, you can have synonyms and so on that you can fix these things, but manual management of them is complicated, hard, and from our experience, people sometimes do them, but the synonym list can get old pretty quickly. Yeah, and the other quite important thing is language morphology, especially for a language like yours, Estonian. We see that there are lots of different word forms, lots of compound words that it is possible to fix with keyword search, but it's clunky and does not always work pretty well. Same goes for, I would say, all of the languages that are not English, because in English, these things are usually pretty easy. But when we start working with our smaller but important Baltic languages, they do not work that well. And the last thing, keyword search is as good as your catalog quality. So if you have messy data, the attributes are living somewhere in the description, they cannot be used in filters, it can also negatively affect search quality. And the this results that 80% of shoppers abandon search when the results do not match intent. Obviously, this is again a very rough estimate. It really depends on multiple factors, but we see that some users are persistent. They try different keywords, but as people get younger and younger, they have less patience. So a good search from the first try could really help boost the conversions. So how can we use AI to help us here? There are obviously lots of different ways because AI lets you try out multiple different ideas. But here we decided to present you three different verticals that we think can have the quickest wins and quickest solutions to your AI search needs. So these are reducing empty or zero results. So these are the cases where user types in something and gets nothing. Or maybe you even have that product somewhere, it just named differently. The other cool thing is AI search assistant. These are the thing that we usually think about when we think about conversation with ChatGPT. It's basically how you can integrate tools like that into your own search, but avoid any hallucinations and inventing products that do not exist. And the last thing is more of a SEO upgrade, search engine optimization, to use AI to help you generate content and drive in users into your store organically. And we'll talk a bit about all of these verticals. So the first one is the empty results reduction. So let's say maybe somebody is typing in your search bar, you are selling shoes, and someone is looking for waterproof boots, men, size 44 Pro. And there are zero results found. But you definitely have shoes. You know that you have waterproof shoes. The problem is that waterproof keyword is nowhere to be found in your store. Maybe they just typed hiking shoes, which could likely mean the same. And from what you can see, on average, around 10 to 15%. It again really depends on the industry of all of the searches and in zero results. And I guess one of the most important things is understanding what those zero results are, because it's one of the most important things to track for search statistics is basically to understand what your users are looking for, but are not getting any results. So if I would say one thing that you can bring from this presentation, if it would be only one thing, I would suggest you, if you are not tracking zero results, I think the biggest improvement would be for you to start doing that and to understand what your users are looking for and what they are not finding. And the most important thing, as I mentioned, these are already the shoppers who know what they want. They already chose your store. They are looking for a specific product, and solving these issues can really help with the conversions. And in the next 4 slides, I will tell you how to reduce those zero result searches and how to make this work better. So I already mentioned the synonym database, and one thing that we can think of, one of the simplest ways for you to solve it is to use AI to expand that synonym database. A lot of searches you are in your store, they might be different, but they are, how to say, very, very similar or identical semantics. Sneakers, trainers, kicks, sports shoes is basically, you could argue these are maybe different things, but in the eyes of user, these are probably the same things. So in the past, how you would solve it, you see this in your zero results report, you add a synonym, maybe it could be even solve some typos or help it with the spell check. but it's a job that requires a lot of work and might not always be that accurate. So what we suggest is giving those zero result searches that you already collected to large language models, AI, like anyone that you like, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, or any other one that you have a subscription for, and then it can quickly, like in a few seconds, expand your synonym list, and not with just any random words, but those words where users where we already see the data that those searches exist, and we can base those new synonyms on the zero results data. We can also still have some human approval, because even from our experience, sometimes AI can overgeneralize, combine words into clusters that are actually not that similar and maybe should not be synonyms. And the other thing is what to do with the for products where you actually really do not have that product. So those are real zero results. So for example, you're only selling Bioderma products, and someone is looking for Eucerin or something like that. So it is your decision. Do you want to show similar products, or is it okay to just say that we do not have this brand and it is fine? So, but still, again, knowing your zero results, it's important in this step. The other layer could be visual search. This is more industry dependent. We see best returns in industries where products are very visual, like apparel, shoes, accessories, decor, and things like that. So there are two ways to do this, two directions that can fulfill one another. One very growing type of search is from picture to picture. It's when a user sees a cool thing on Instagram or a TikTok, and they see that product, but they have no idea how it's called. So they just snap a picture, upload a screenshot to your store. There are plugins, search plugins that can help you do that, and they get the results that are similar visually. So with the hopes that you can find something that's hard to describe with text. But the cool thing is that you can do it other way around. For example, I would guess that likely all of your products have pictures, but even if not all of them have descriptions. So, but from the picture, you can AI can tell a lot of things about that product. For example, your title can just say it's short red dress or something like that. But in the picture, you can see that it has puffy sleeves. It has floral patterns. It has some kind of text or pictures on it that it's hard to describe everything in description, but you can use open source technologies like Clip and other paid technologies like Google Lens and other tools to convert that picture data into some kind of vector representation, mathematical representation, where you can user types something like red floral mini dress with puff sleeves. And even if you don't have anything about it in description, if it matches visually, it can find those results. So again, this is very helpful in certain industries, maybe not for electronics, but even then it could be a good second layer of defense against those zero results. So we try, even for complicated long queries, we try not to leave user without any result. The third layer is all about the semantics and meaning. So it can be called vector search, it can be called semantic search, but the idea is that we are converting the product titles into some kind of mathematical representation. There are models that can help you do that. those are also, a lot of them support Estonian language as well. So even if users are typing shoes for standing all day, and your shoes are titled cushioned orthopedic sneakers, semantic meaning is the same, basically. And it allows us to have those matches as well. So previously, the search would return 0 results, but if you are using vector search models, and those vector search models can be easily connected with open source searches that you already use, like Elasticsearch or I think even the Solr, you can basically expand your keyword search with the vector meaning. And this is especially important for Estonian. As I mentioned, you can have some very smart stemming algorithms that would combine all of these words into one, because they basically are just different forms of the same word. But keyword search can sometimes miss these, because languages are not easy, and vector search usually helps these automatically, because these are similar words and have very similar meaning. But yeah, there are some drawbacks to vector search as well. For example, if my product is titled shoes and I search for shoes, I mean, it's easy to understand why that result is returned. But if I am searching for shoes and I have trainers, sneakers, sandals, boots, the question is where we draw the line with the vector search. How similar is not similar enough, or how similar is too similar? So there is some manual tweaking you might need to do to find the best similarity algorithm where the results are still relevant and do not start to return some random products that are only very tangentially related to what users are searching for. And this quality highly depends on the quality of the model you select. But here on the bottom, you can see some models that we tried and tested. These are evolving rapidly, and probably every day there are new ones. So, but once you integrate it once, it's pretty easy to change a model and to upgrade to a new one. So it's all about trying new and different things. And the layer 4 is something that we actually use a lot in our search engine. It's the last layer of defense from those 0 results. So if keyword search returns nothing, vector search fails again, we can try bringing in large language models on the fly and try different synonyms based on your store, based on what your store is selling. So it can write complicated long tail searches, like think for keeping wine cold at picnic, into more understandable synonyms. So it's actually, I would say, if you have resources, it's quite not maybe even easier to implement as than the vector search, because it basically you have synonyms on the fly. If user gets 0 results, you tell the ChatGPT or Gemini or any other model that you like, what are the synonyms for this? You try using simpler terms to convert complicated user language into my terms that I use in my store. So it can help as a last line of defense. So even then, we can use AI in this pretty easy way to reduce those 0 results. And one of our customers who implemented a similar solution saw search conversion growth pretty significant. I would say this is more of an outlier than a real case. As I mentioned, on average, we see conversion grow up to 20%, but they had a very visual product, a very visual store, most of them, their customers are in Lithuania, but I think they also have a very small store here in Estonia as well. They implemented image-based search, the one that we talked in the layer 2. And it reduced zero results quite significantly and even helped to increase the average order value. But I would mention that their previous search, they basically had had a very poor one. So it maybe that's why that search conversion growth was that significant. But we see that if you have a lot of visual products, it's visual search and converting them into vectors can really help. And we have the next vertical. So we already talked about zero results, but AI can be a very helpful search assistant as well. The problem is that quite a lot of times it can hallucinate. And AI, even if AI knows almost everything, it rarely does know all of, I don't know, 3,000 products and their characteristics that your store has. Because you don't want to have AI assistant in your search, in your website, anywhere in your website, that would just give some product from your competitor, because that's all the AI know. So a solution for it is retrieval augmented generation, so or RAG. So the idea is that you are using your own existing search, that you improve the vectors and other zero result reduction tools, and you retrieve your own products and then pass that data to large language models. So, for example, if I have 1 million products, I cannot. I mean, I guess I could, but it would cost enormous amount of money and time to feed everything into AI. So what we do, we retrieve a subset of those products with your existing search, and add that small piece of data as a prompt for the AI, and then it significantly reduces hallucinations. And you can even have AI assistants that you could say, birthday gift for my 8-year-old nephew who likes dinosaurs. That's my budget. And AI can then retrieve products that to reduce the prompt size. So it already retrieves the products that are under 30 euros and toys, for example. And then AI can read the results and rank them and give you not just some textual search a result that anyone can get with the ChatGPT, but they can you can even show them your product like this. So you could think of and see how there are assistants in a real physical store. AI assistant could be something virtual, so where you can ask questions about that product. You can ask for recommendations. For grocery stores, maybe you want to make a lasagna, and you just say, give me all the products that are needed to make lasagna. And previously, it would have been like 10 different searches for you as a user. And with this technology, if implemented well, you can have everything in a single query. That saves user time and it makes your average order value better. And there are a lot of similar tools already live today. They are evolving quite rapidly again, so I believe, I'm sure that you could find many more other examples. So it's a pretty new area that you can already try out and implement it in your store. However, as with everything, there are some costs to such approach. We do not see that many of those AI assistants pop up, at least here in the Baltics. They are quite rare still. And we believe that main issues are because of these 3 problems. The first one is latency. As regular search, we hope for it to perform in a blink of an eye, like under under quarter of a second. And it's industry standard that search is fast. However, if we are connecting large language models, they add at least, depending on the complexity of the prompt, they add at least a second. It can be 2.5 seconds. It can be for extremely complicated prompts and very complicated models. It can be even more than that. So it's about balancing how much time user is willing to wait against the quality of the results. So because at the moment, if you are using a smaller model, it's going to be faster, but the results might have poorer quality. And vice versa, if you are using Gemini 3 or Claude 4.7 or something like that, it becomes much slower to get those results, but they can be of much higher quality. The other thing is token costs. So I guess we're already starting to hear that AI takes quite a lot of energy to be processed behind the scenes for all those large language models. And we see that it can cost like from 1 cent to 5 cents for a few thousand queries. Again, it's a very rough estimate, and it changes quite a lot. But the basic idea that AI-backed searches, if we are talking about large language models, they are expensive. They are more expensive than regular keyword search. And if you have like 10,000 queries every day, there is a chance that you could pay for those 10,000 queries, depending on how well optimized your model is. Like there could be hundreds of euros of direct AI cost for the AI. So if it is helpful for you, yes, but I guess the cost is one of the main reasons why we do not see that many of those AI assistants popping up in the smaller store. But hopefully this can change, and with well-tuned search, where you combine keyword search and AI search into one, I think it can be managed in a smart way. And the other thing is for retrieval augmented generation, we still need clean-ish product data, because AI is going to take your product data and use it as a prompt. And if your product data is incorrect or lying about, AI is going to do the same. So it's still pretty important. And the other thing is that with LLM, it's a bit harder to use traditional search tools like boosting or advertising some kind of brands. So the good idea is to use a hybrid approach here. We combine both results. And where that AI assistant actually lives. So again, there are lots of different ideas you could do. We thought about 4 main locations where that AI assistant can be. The first one is search bar. So it can replace or be an addition to the search bar where you can ask longer questions. But even Google, for example, it still have not replaced their regular search results completely. There is a combination of AI in their search results, but you can still use the search regularly. And the AI button is a different button. So maybe we would suggest doing similar thing as well. So not give up your keyword, your vector search, but have it as an addition to your search data system. It can also be in the product page where users can ask about this product, and where AI can use its general knowledge, for example. With some risk of hallucinations as well, you could ask if this product, are these shoes waterproof? And maybe AI can look in the internet to find that result without customer actually leaving your store. We also think that checkout and cart could be a good places. So maybe user already spent 28 euros on your store, and for the free delivery, it is still missing like €2 of product, you can ask AI what products can be helpful for this user to reach that free delivery value. So it can still help you increase average order value. And the other thing is post-purchase, which is quite often overlooked, because from our analytics, we see that a lot of users, when they finish a purchase, especially a larger one, they like to go back to the product page to read more about it, to see what they actually bought. And it could be a good upsell opportunity to sell some accessories or give some tips about care and so on. And obviously, there is no need to do all at once. Maybe choose one of these locations and expand it if necessary. And obviously, AI search assistant is a bit more complicated than implementing your zero result synonym database or even vector search. So you can either build it yourself. There are lots of tools that can help you with that, like even if you do not coding. So you can use Claude or Gemini to integrate it in your store, even if you do not have much experience. But you're going to have to need to maintain it, because models change a lot, your products change a lot, and there is a chance that you'll need to do some maintenance work quite regularly, and it's likely to build it yourself. Even with code generation tools, it might take some time. And or you can use some kind of managed platform like Algolia, Lupasearch, Us, or any other tool. A lot of these already have those AI assistants prepared and pre-configured and tested. It's a faster time to production usually, but obviously we have some ongoing vendor costs every month. And maybe if you have an unusual product feed, it might need some extra work to integrate it. And one very underrated thing is you don't need any infrastructure to maintain, because if you build something yourself, you need to take care of the cloud, you need to take care of the hosting, all the incidents, all the security updates. So with a managed platform, it gets taken care of on behalf of you. So that's a big headache that could be removed. And our last vertical, very quickly, about automatically generated guides. So it's the tool how you can bring users into your store from organic search. So the idea is that a lot of companies used to do this manually and still does, but the AI can help you streamline this process and make it faster. So, for example, you can give maybe it's for example, September is coming. You know that you have a lot of school supplies to sell, and you want to promote it. So you can write a blog post about what are the best, or what are top 10 things you need for school. So you can use AI to help you with this. Obviously, we still need some guidance from human, because we do not want AI to just blindly spit out the content. But if curated by human, we can help these write these seasonal articles that improve your store's SEO. So you can only give the prompt, give the products from your feed, and then review it and publish the page. And what we think, again, is if users are searching something, very long queries in Google, you can jump on this trend and have more generated articles with AI. I would say you don't need to make thousands or hundreds, because still I think, as everyone is going to do that, human input is still very pretty important, and people still see and do not convert well if they know that this was generated by AI. So it's a thin line to walk, but if you know how to manage it, especially with the seasonal updates, or for example, when you see that a new trend is coming, like Labubu or Dubai chocolate, you can jump on it and write some blog posts with your own products for promotion. And again, LLM works with multiple languages, so even if you are using Estonian, Latvian, Lithuanian, Russian, or English, it can quickly translate those landing pages as well. One other thing that I want to quickly mention is the voice search. I think that is very popular in America with all the tools like Alexa and the new assistants that are coming in. From our data, it's not that popular in the Baltics yet. Maybe because the languages are not that easy to understand even for the Google voice, but we see that it's getting better. And it's something that you definitely can try looking into, especially on mobile. Because typing on mobile is still something that is not the easiest thing. And if you try integrating the voice search, it can be really helpful, especially for those Gen Z customers who are using the voice search more and more. And another thing, this can be helpful for accessibility. So not everyone can easily type with a keyboard, and even with coming European Union regulations, voice search might become something that is not optional but essential just for the accessibility stuff. So it's something to think about even for languages like ours. So coming to the end of the presentation, just a couple of things that we think are important. So these are the 6 metrics I think you should understand about your search before implementing any of these changes. So zero result rate and what kind of searches are in those 0 results. It's one of the most important metrics to try. And with our 4-layer suggested stack, we really should try to drop it under 5%. We need to also track how many of your own revenue actually comes from the search. If it's a large number, larger than 40%, then it means that search is really important for you, and you don't need to forget about it. How many searches actually lead to the purchases? So this could also be a pretty important KPI for the search. We also track click-through rate. So basically, if 10 users search for Samsung and only 5 of them clicked on something, so you have 50% click-through rate. The bigger this value is, the better. And we can also even try to track click-through rate for the top 5 or top 1 product. And a low click-through rate might mean that even if something is returned, there are results. These results have low quality. So, for example, if 1,000 people looked for Philips, and you are showing some kind of Philips accessories for vacuum cleaners at the top, it likely might lead to, even if this is not a 0 result search, it has poorer ranking performance. So click-through rate tracking is also pretty important, especially for your top queries. And there are some additional metrics like search refinement rates, basically how many times users need to type in something until they find a result, and how many of our 4-layer defense strategy, how helpful it is. So always nice to track something, to track if something you implemented is actually bringing value. And some pitfalls is the design around. So basically, what are the possible drawbacks that I think some we already mentioned, but just a quick recap is large language modules can hallucinate inventory, but we can fix this by using retrieval augmented generation, so that LLM can see all your catalog on your data and will not recommend users to switch to a competitor website. There is latency cost that AI searches are still slower than regular search. token cost is a important thing that you need to track, especially on Black Fridays, where you get the most traffic, and which can also result in more tokens used. Pure large language model search also can ignore your boosting rules or pins or any sponsorships that you might have. So it's something that you can use. Hybrid search that Lupa Search also and many other search providers suggest. And a good idea is always to fix some of your catalog. So even if, especially if you are going to use RAG, you need to have clean-ish product data. You can also use the AI to fix it, so it should not be a critical thing. So the quickest wins are check what actually your zero results are, clear your top 100 product titles, make sure that it is good for both internal search and SEO. If you are not using basic synonyms and misspellings, you can turn them on. A lot of all of the search providers support it, and even if you use your own search like Elastic, you can implement it as well, relatively easy. Then boost those synonyms with AI based not on guesswork, but on actual search logs, actual zero results. You can then try deploying vector search and add LLM-based fallback query. And then, based on your strategy, you can try visual search, launch those auto-generate seasonal guides, or even try out the AI assistant if you think that is for your wallet and something that could be useful. And yeah, for this quarter, if you would start to act on it, we could start with MT0 reduction, implement vector search. We think that is really important for languages like ours, where morphology is complicated. Add AI assistant as an addition to your existing search, not a replacement. And see how your catalog performs. Make sure the data is clean before implementing conversational AI. So basically, look what is important for you and not just what the search vendor is hyping up that could be important. Because if nobody is using long questions in your search right now, maybe the AI assistant is not needed yet, but it could be needed in the future. So yeah, that's our presentation, and maybe that now could be a good time to ask any questions. We both, me and Paulus, can help you, and we can have a discussion if you would like.
Thank you very much. If anyone has some questions, just turn on the microphone or just write down the chat. I think that there is a lot of information that an AI search engine provides. Benefits and such solutions would exist, but who are the biggest players in our region or in Scandinavian or worldwide?
Yeah, so we actually have a lot of clients in Baltics. So it can be companies like Jysk, Sportland, K-Rauta, and from grocery point of view, e-promo Estonian is partially based on Lupa Search. So not every one of them is using all of our features. Some just are satisfied with AI synonyms and database. Yeah, so basically we really try to look into each vertical and integrate it as good as possible. I can see a question from in the chat. Let me read it. I have a question about external rich content providers. We use several different ones, for example, Flixmedia. Do you have any experience, or do you think it would be possible to have AI search their content as well? Yes, I think it's related to our generated seasonal guides as in the slides example. And what we think is if you have a generated content like blog posts or questions or things like that, it can definitely be searched. And we even have some examples where search works not only for your products, but it can work for your support database if you have something like that, or it can work with your blog posts as well. So it is definitely doable. And in this case, I think AI search assistant or the retrieval augmented generation, because you probably have a lot of that content, can be really helpful here. Domand has asked about the slides after, so I think yes, I think we'll share the slides and maybe even the recording, right?
You said that you don't need to use the full version of your system. How much it costs if I have only, I don't know, if I average or a small e-shop in Estonia, do I have some solutions to?
Yeah, so definitely you can use only our search. You can use our AI assistant only. We also have a separate product for a recommender, and we think that external search engine is useful if you have at least, I would say, 1,000 products. If your store has less than that, maybe or just an honest thought is that it might not bring that much of good usefulness for you. But if you have more than 1,000, then definitely we can discuss about our plans. Our engine is subscription based, and basically it's a subscription based model where we all of our products are included in that subscription if you want to use.
I have one interesting more question, but Indrek has write the same question to chat. Just look at the chat.
Yeah, so the question from Indrek is, how do you compare your products with Clevo? So yeah, these are one of our possible competitors. They are very active in Europe. What we see from our advantages is that we use a lot of new technologies. We can connect since our technology is quite new. We are very flexible in integrating different types of stores. A lot of our clients, even those who switch to Clevo, say that we have much better customer support because it's still based here in the Baltics. And we try to answer every question technically and give the highest priority to the integrators. And we focus a lot on Baltic languages. So, for example, for Estonian, we had a lot of additional research and implemented some algorithms that were made, I think, by your university for that keyword search morphological improvements. So I would say that 3 things would be the flexibility, customer support, and support for Baltic language.
Nice answer. So, do we have more questions? Paulius, one question to you also. Do we have any hope of surviving against big platforms and international players? I mean, like you name it, Zalando, Amazon, Temu, etc., etc.
But the question is about competitors. Like, may you share it again?
Yeah. Do we have any hope of surviving against big international platforms? In any site?
Yeah, it's a philosophical question. I mean, it's not related with search, I think, because Temu is like Temu is like a global player, and
but what do you think?
I mean, there are so many philosophical angles on this topic. For example, I met one of my friend, and we had a discussion, and he never bought from Temu because he's saying, "Hey, Paulus, do you see what is around? Like we are sorting out trashes. We are investing in recycling, plastic, glass, paper. We are proud of ourselves. How sustainable we are as a country. We are growing trees. Like we have so many initiatives, but at the same time we are buying from Temu." So, like it's a bit of conflict of values about our behavior, what we say, who we are, and what we do. Because if you buy from Temu, so according to my friend, he is saying that it's totally not sustainable at all. Then you can't say anything about your sustainability. You don't need, to sort out all the trashes because Temu, how manufacturers is acting in China and selling via Temu is it's really huge damage, I would say. Like kids are working in the manufacturers, and it's like this plastic and the ecological things. So this is one topic. It's about values. Who we are, what we buy, and can we buy 2 or 3 times more expensive stuff, but to be more sustainable.
Yeah.
So this is one angle. But another friend is saying, guys, we are buying the same China stuff just from local stores, 3-4 times more expensive, and this is the same crap is just 4-5 times more expensive. So this is another angle that we need to figure out in general what we are buying and where it comes from. Do we support local manufacturers, or do we support local retailers, or do we support globalization? And the biggest winner out of globalization is China. So like then we need just to accept that it's a part of our e-commerce, it's a part of our ecosystem, it's open market, it's open competition, and we need to figure out new ways how to act in this dynamic environment. And I think that all of these angles in one another way is true. We just need to figure out which direction we are going, because I think that we are a bit sleepy in this context, and we just don't want to because it's a very high complexity of this challenge. So nobody wants to make a decision which direction to go. In general, China, they have really straightforward direction, and they are not stepping away or changing the direction or changing. They have very straight road what they are doing. And sometimes my feeling that we are a bit confused, unsatisfied, that something is happening not according to us, but in general we just need a bit more braver decisions, who we are, what we want to do, what is our values, and from where we are buying stuff. Yeah, I mean, this is really a hot topic. I mean, one of the key player, e-commerce key player in Lithuania called Pigu.lt, in Estonian, it's
Kaup24, yeah.
Yes.
Kaup24, yeah.
Sorry. So I know Lithuanian, but I forgot what is the Estonian name. But in general, I mean, the story which I'm really admired by the CEO who is running the company, who was running a company from the early stage, then he left, and then now he joined again. When he left on the peak of the good.lt, then assortment was increasing and this marketplace was fulfilled by Chinese suppliers. So actually it was, I think, maybe 40 or 20 million SKUs. I don't remember what is the exact number, but I mean, it was a huge marketplace with so many Chinese retailers on our local, the biggest. It was at those times. It was like huge assortment. And this CEO, who was the founder of this company, came back to the company and he reduced it. He completely, get rid of the Chinese suppliers, and he said, customer first. We will provide low assortment, like not so big assortment, and we would focus on customers, and we would focus on speed, and we would focus beyond, of the quality of the production. And yeah, he is now fighting this fight, and I really admiring that he made a decision, because in this context, I'm missing, very clear direction. One business or another business, where do they go? Are we going with the flow and just waiting for another technologies which is coming from east or from the west, or do we create by ourselves? So this is but I mean, it's very easy to talk, it's really hard to act. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
I know that, so it sounds very maybe how to say opportunistic what I'm saying, because it just works. But
exactly.
That's the hard issue. I mean, this is the biggest challenge those times which we are facing. I mean, a lot of Lithuanian e-commerce businesses are struggling, and some of them are closing just because of Temu, because they had really high profitability of phone cases or some accessories, and now people are buying. And it was one article that in Lithuania in 9 months it was like 200 million revenue on Temu euros. In 9 months, 200 million, something like that. I don't remember exact numbers again, but it was hundreds of millions in 9 months. So for our country, as you know, with a so small population, it's dramatic change in e-commerce.
Exactly. Yeah, it's philosophical question. You half of our e-shops using WooCommerce, and you have one question about WooCommerce in the chat.
Yes, so Aivaras, maybe it's your.
Okay, already answered.
Yeah, so we do have support for WooCommerce, but even if we don't support some kind of AI, some kind of e-commerce system directly through a plugin, we also provide maybe a bit more complicated, but still we provide API integration where you can synchronize the products, and we also provide for smaller stores, we can use product feed to synchronize the product. So the same feed that you would use for price comparisons or for Facebook, we could use that feed to upload the data to the search as well.
And you probably need to pay only hundreds of euros per month, not thousands, if you use only this little tool, I hope.
Our pricing depends on the number of products that you have and the number of search queries. So we can.
If you add the example 1,000 products in
so for 1,000 or for basically less than 10,000, I would say that's on our low side of the plan.
Okay.
Because we do have a lot of large customers. So for example, the largest one has at the moment over 3 million SKUs and 10 languages. So we do support those large ones as well.
Yeah, Aivars, you have one potential client in chat. You need to.
We'll definitely talk and see, because what we support, what we actually do, because you can always invite everyone to the demo and show prepared scripted demo with some kind of your own data. And what we suggest is we can show how Lupo Search work with your products without any commitments, and see if it works for you. We can then talk further, and if it does not, we can just no hard feelings, and everything is a free demo.
This sounds very nice, I think. But guys, 3 years ago, AI wasn't like it is today, and where will AI develop in e-commerce in the next 3 years? What solutions await us? What do you think about AI future?
I think actually we started integrating a lot of these AI tools pretty early. So basically, if we think about 3 years ago, we already had AI assistant prototype.
Oh, you had already?
Yeah, okay. But that was based on large language models. But again, because of the cost, because of the latency, maybe and maybe because nobody else was doing it, because a lot of times in e-commerce you just copy what your competitors do, and since no one's even now, not many stores have that AI assistant. It's not very popular thing. So somebody has to be the first one to introduce it, and we could definitely help with that.
But why the numbers so big, like you showed us in the beginning? It was 47 or 46% of something.
Yeah, so a lot of stores are still using the very basic keyword search, and it's maybe for a lot of them that is enough. Maybe your customer base is like that, so it does not mean that you'll definitely need to give in into that fear of missing out feeling that you definitely need to have AI. Of course not. We really try to see what your users are actually looking for in your store. And if you see those more complicated queries, those different jargon queries, maybe then you can start thinking of AI. But if you are selling some kind of tools that just using heavy, complicated SKUs that just basically numbers, so you probably do not need AI yet. But even then, there is a lot of behind the scenes going into a good search even for product codes.
But if you don't use a good search engine, you probably lose 10 or 15% of your turnover in every
especially if you're in an industry like where search is important.
Exactly.
What we see, if your average order basket size is big, so for example you order multiple products in a single order, we see that usually then people are using search more, so because they are buying more, so search is more convenient for multiple purchases. So for groceries, for pharmacies, for even a lot of fashion clients, I think the searches could be pretty important.
Okay.
Tono, I would like to elaborate a bit on your question about what are our thoughts about AI. You see, we have a conversation out of one keyword, AI, and each person understands it differently. One person understands it LLM, another one understands it like maybe specific model, visual model. Another understands maybe another idea. So actually, I wish that for the future, and I think that for the future, we would have a way more keywords about AI, because now like we are talking about this topic, but just out of one word, and that's it. So it's supposed to be a bit broader context. It's supposed to be a much more keywords to define specific areas, to define specific problems and solutions, how to solve particular challenges. Because LLMs, if we are talking LLMs, yes, if we are going a bit deeper, it's in DNA, there is a hallucination. In LLM, DNA is hallucination. 3 years ago, it was a lot of hallucination, like maybe 30%, I don't know. Now it's a way less hallucination, but in general, in DNA, there is a hallucination. And even if for the future, LLM will be very precise, still it's going to be maybe 0.1% hallucination. And there are some particular companies in the world who can't tolerate 0.1%. Let's say you are working in the legal industry, or you are working in a pharma, or you are working in payments. You can't tolerate 0.1%. So it means that we still discussing, is it possible to integrate LLMs for the future in scale? Because if there is like a very, very small percentage of the hallucinations, so then it's just the risk is too high, and you can't use it in some cases. But some cases are very, very, very powerful, and you can actually discover and explore and to have a context out of that. So it's a brilliant tool. But Ivar has mentioned about, Word2Vec or Clip AI, which is actually image vector algorithms. So there are many, many algorithms in AI which can be implemented to one or another challenge to solve. So like we think that for the future, vocabulary will increase a bit. We won't talk about one keyword AI, but we would talk about maybe different algorithms in this particular AI domain. So this is what we are thinking it's supposed to happen, because now it's just one keyword, and everyone is a bit tired of that keyword. Because everywhere is, you go to the conference, 80% of the conference speaker knows is AI. But it's like electricity. It's like it's a horizontal layer. Let's say it's electricity. You have a pros and cons of electricity, but you don't say that your refrigerator is powered by electricity, or you have I don't know, CD player which is first electricity first. It's powered by electricity. It's just refrigerator, or it's washing machine, and then you have the features of this washing machine, and electricity is everywhere. So it's like horizontal layer. So we need to understand that we don't need to say that it's AI. Let's go deeper and just to say which algorithms we are using, which technologies we are using to solve problems which we are having.
It sounds logical, yeah. Okay. My last question today at the end. What are 3 things everyone should do in their online store tomorrow or even today? 3 main things.
3 main things.
I can answer one thing, Paulus, and you can
Okay.
think of other. So I think the most important thing is to understand what your users are searching for, to understand the zero results, to understand the low click-through rate searches. So as an engineer, I always like data-based approaches. So no guessing what could be important, but basing those your solutions on the data. That's my takeaway.
I would say that one of the advices would be go with your laptop and to, let's say, ask a random 5 people to use your e-commerce store. Just look from the corner what is happening, how user behaves on your e-commerce store. And there is the research that out of, like, I think you need just 5 or 8 deep researches on user behavior, and you can see 30 or 40% of major problems of your e-commerce store. So in general, sometimes, like we are users by ourselves and we think that it works, but it really helps, to see a bit, from different perspective, just, but it's not your colleagues, but random people, like maybe from your family, not family, but from your siblings, or someone who is not related with your e-commerce store, and just see how he or she behaves. So, and sometimes it says a lot, and sometimes it shows, some weak points which needs to be solved. And the third thing is, I think that still analytics is a key player. Analytical tools. Yes, we have Google Analytics everywhere, but there are way more analytical tools which needs to be integrated, in my opinion, to e-commerce store to understand what is happening, because analytics is ears and eyes to your e-commerce store. If you would be in physical store owner, you would definitely would talk with your clients. You would see how they behave, what they are buying, what they see, what they don't see. So in physical store, it seems everything pretty straightforward and clear. But in e-commerce, sometimes I think that we are half blinded. And like we are investing in analytics a lot, that for our customers, they would see what is happening with search behavior, and they see a lot of value out of that. They are waiting for those reports, monthly reports, what needs to be changed, or what's trending, what's going down. And so I think that, but it's not only related with search. I mean, in general, analytics is it's the tools which we need to spend more time to absorb what is happening.
Yeah. And the last one, just after this free topic, you just need to find provider, our own Estonian Asli or Clevo or Lupa Church and Bloomreach or etc. etc.
Yes.
And this is also important. So thanks a lot to the speakers and listeners. I hope you gained some ideas and confirmation of the necessity of AI. I think it's a very important topic, and this 10 or 15% of losing money every day if you don't have normal and good search engine, it's very important, I think, and tomorrow and the next week it's more important, and this is a solution. If you have some thoughts or just want to say something.
I think we covered majority of topics. Really appreciate that you invited us, and yeah, thank you. Like we wish to have a feedback if what needs to be improved, and maybe next time we can prepare other insights, interesting topics, which would be
why not?
Which would be if the audience is happy. So we would like to hear opinion later on.
Yeah, and if anyone want to contact with you, I can share your contacts and you can chat whatever. Anything. So guys, have a nice day and beginning of a weekend, and let's keep in touch. Yeah.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you everyone. Thank you, Tonu.
Thank you.
Thank
you so much. It was fun.
Bye bye.